First thing I remember knowing was a lonesome whistle blowing and a young dream of growing up to ride on a freight train leaving town, not knowing where I'm bound. No one could change my mind, but Mama tried. When an only rebel child, with a family making miles, my Mama seemed to know what lay in store. All my Sunday learning, towards the bad I kept on turning, till Mama couldn't hold me anymore. And I turned 21 in prison, doing life without parole. No one could steer me right, but Mama tried. Mama tried to raise me better, but her pleading I denied. And it's only me to blame, cause Mama tried. Dear old daddy, rest his soul, let my mama heavy load. She tried so very hard to fill his shoes, working hours without rest, wanted me to have the best. She tried to make me right, but I refused. I turned 21 in prison, doing life without parole. No one could steer me right, but Mama tried. Mama tried to raise me better, but her pleading I denied. And it's only me to blame, cause Mama tried.
Thank you very much, and welcome to our second show of the evening. We're the Lawmen, and we appreciate you sticking around this late.
Right. Yes.
And it really isn't that late anyway. If you're in the Army, it's 0115 hours.
Sure is.
0105 hours. If you're in the Navy, it's pretty close to 8 bells. And if you happen to be in the Air Force, the little hand's on the one, the big hand's on the one. In case you gotta get out and be somewhere. And I'd like to introduce our group for the newcomers, if I may. Behind us is a young man that we're very tickled to have with us, and he's very tickled to be with us. He's never really felt wanted in his life. He's had that problem since he was a child. His mother used to wrap his lunch in road maps. Would you welcome from Fairview, Colorado, please, Mr. Lee Arlano on the drum.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, man.
All right, thank you. It's very nice of you to introduce me. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. On my left, by golly, is 240 pounds of spring steel and sex appeal. There, see there, she. Yes. The other leg runs right around 130. He is the mentalist of our group. We're not. You didn't know that, did you? John is in one of those Kreskin things. You know, that's right. And later on in the show, he has amazing control over that body and his mind. And sometime during the evening, John is going to stop his heart for 10 seconds. We thought that if he can't do that, would you blink? Then later on, he'll do his navel spin on a pencil, which should really be exciting for all of us. From Burrow, Kansas, would you welcome once again, Jumpin' Johnny Grout.
In the middle of our group, from the bluegrass state of Kentucky, stamping ground, Mr. Bo Cottrell.
Thank you. Thank you. To my right is a gentleman that we brought up from Beaumont, Texas. He is the most miserable man in our group. Poor guy's reached that point in life where his wife trusts him, you know. Would you welcome, please, Mr. John Roy of Beaumont, Texas.
When Billy was a little boy, he was like me and you. But at a very early age, he wore rattlesnakes for shoes. His best friend was a bighorn sheep, his partner was a bear. When peace came over the valley, they knew young Billy was there. He's a man on the mountain, the ruler of the land. They say he can cut wood with the backside of his hand. He can step across the valley like an eagle from its nest. He's a man on the mountain, the Mount of Billy Gay. In the year of 49 in South He's a man of the mountain, the ruler of the land. They say he can cut wood with the backside of his hand. He can stand across the valley, pluck an eagle from its nest. He's a man of the mountain, the battle Billy Gale. Well, he's a man of the mountain, the battle Billy
Thank you very much. We'd like to feature John Moore on a song now, the gentleman on our right. John is not only an exceptional guitarist and an exceptional vocalist, he is also the Cajun of our group. And we're not certain how many of you folks are aware of it because we weren't for some time. But the Cajuns not only have their own form of music, they also have a very, very unique way of speaking. And we love him for it, and he loves to do it. Do you feel weird? Can you do it? We think it's funny, and it's some cute stories. I bet you, with a little persuasion, we'd hear a little Tibby and a little ditty. Would you like to hear that? Would you do that for us, John?
I certainly thank you a whole bunch for that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'd like to tell you about the last time that I was back in South Louisiana, you know, and my good friend there, his name is Sosin, and he's got what you call that hunt shack. That's where them fella make that duck hunt, you know. Well, anyhow, he's decided he's going to fix that place up. So old Sosin, he got in his buggy, you know, and he drive there to Lake Charles, and he told that banking people, he said, well, I told you what. You give me the money to fix that hunt shack, and me, I'm going to take you on a good duck hunt. Boy, I guarantee you for sure. So anyhow, well, that banking people, he liked that pretty well, you know, so he gives Sosin that money, and old Sosin, he rush home, you know. He fixed up that hunt shack. Let me tell you, he done carpet his bathroom. He liked it so well, he run it on into the house. So that Sunday morning, you know, that banking people, he done show up, got that brand new automatic shoot gun. That thing, let me tell you something, that gun done shot 5 times like that. All you was got to done was just pull that trigger, you know. 3 times when a game warden show up, but he's still a good gun know how. Anyhow, you know, so he reached behind the door, he grabbed his twice-barrel carbine, and they got ready to shove off in that little boat, you know, that's called that P-row in that Cajun talk, you know. Well, anyhow, they about ready to shove out there, you know, and that banking people, he tapped Sosin on that shoulder like that. He says, Sosin, just a minute. How about your old hunt dog over there? And that's old Fado. He's laying his brand new house done got built for him. That's a nice place too, boy, I guarantee. Got his name painted on the front. P-H-R-D-E-A-U-X, that's Fado in Cajun. So he said, well, man, no, he said, we don't need that old dog. He said, we can just pick that duck up from that water there when we get ready to pass out from that swamp, man, to come home. And that banking people, he said, well, he said, me, I'm not going to splash around in that swamp. He said, you took that dog? He said, look here. He said, I'll give you that money for that hunt shack. So he decided he better took that dog, you know, so he called to Fado like that. He said, Fado, he said, bien voici, dog, come get in the boat, you know. No, Fado, he run over there, got his excited up, you know, run, jump in that boat. And they took off with that duck blind, you know. Well, they done get there, and I want to tell you right now, they got to sit there for 3 or 2 hours, just wait for that duck. And then the Hashi finally show up, come fly along, you know, like that, you know, and also he raised over that duck call, go, quack, 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 you know. She heard that, boy, she liked that pretty good, you know, she dive on that water, fly low like that. So wait till she got good and close, he stood up with that twice-barrel carbine, you know, go, patchoon, like that. Ooh, he's a good shot. Because that duck, she fall close to that boat in that water, you know. Splash. Well, they done sit there just about 10 seconds, you know, after that duck, she landed in that water, you know, and that banking people, he said, well, so sad. He said, man, you're not going to tell that dog to go get that duck, huh? So he said, well, man, no, look there, he's just a couple of feet from the boat. We can pick him up when we get ready to pass out here to go home. That banking people, he said, just a minute there. So he said, that alligator going to come jump on that duck like that. He said, man, I don't want to lose that duck. You told that dog to go get him. So he turned to Fado. He said, well, Fado, he said, I guess you better go get that duck, dog. Or Fado, he got his excited up, you know, again. He jumped out that boat, walk on the water. Like that, go, pick up that duck and he smiled. Blip, 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 blip. Come back, put him in the boat. Well, I guarantee you for sure. That banking people, he don't look at that and boy, he don't say a word. So they sit there, just a couple, 2 or 1 hour more, wait for some more duck to pass by overhead, you know, and finally that duck, she done come along, and that banking people, they say, well, so son, you better call that duck man right now. So son, he done stood up with that duck call again, you know, make the same kind of call, like a quack, 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 you know, come along like that. And old duck, she dive alone on that water, you know. Well, that banking people, he's not gonna let that one get away. He stood up with that brand new automatic shoot gun, pa-chong, like that. Well, they all good shot, them Cajun, because that duck, she fall close to that boat too in that water, you know. Splash. He turned to Sosa, he said, well, Sosa, he said, man, look here. He said, man, I want you to tell that dog to go get that duck just one more one. So Sosa, he turned to Fado, you know, he said, well, Fado, he said, I guess you better go get that one too, huh, dog? And old Fado, he done did it again. He jumped out that boat, you know, walk on top of that water, blip, 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 pick up that duck, blip, 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 come back, put him in the boat. That banking people, he turned to Sosa, he said, Sosa, he said, man, the first time I saw that, I don't say nothing. Me. I thought that was a lie. How come that dog, she can walk on top of that water like that? So he said, well, man, look, I'm going to tell you. But don't you dare tell nobody, because that sure embarrassed me. I can never teach a damn dog how to swim. Well, you can take my hand, baby. You gotta understand. Thank you. It's been taken once before. But I'm not like you. Yes, now, honey, you're brand new. But me, I've been around just a little bit more. Well, you can look into my eyes, baby. You gotta realize they've been looked into before. Oh, now, you can love me, yes, you can. Take me anytime, here I am. But remember, I'm a second-hand man. Like me won't come your way again. I'm just like this his model, just a little bit broken in. Well, you can take my heart, baby. You gotta rip it out from the side. It's been taken once before. Now you can love me, yes you can. Take me anytime, here I am. But remember, I'm a second hand.
With a 10-day free home trial.
Yes, remember, I'm a second hand.